Just about set to go here for some non-conference women's lacrosse action between the Whitman Blues and the Chapman Panthers, rounding out their trip to the Northwest here in Walla Walla. We welcome you in James Hayner Field here on the campus of Whitman College. Austin Samuels with you here along with the rest of our Flow Sports crew here at Whitman. Thanks for making us a part of your Monday morning here West Coast time. Nice and early starts on Monday. It is spring break for Whitman, and they are hoping to continue their winning ways. Two teams playing well right now. Whitman at 4-4 overall in the campaign. The Blues have won 3 straight after starting the year 1-4. On the flip side, for the Chapman Panthers, they are 5-3. They are hunting their 3rd straight win today. It would be their second 3-game win streak of the season if they can do that. First to start with Whitman. The Blues at 4-4 on the year. As we mentioned, they've won 3 games in a row, 2 to round out their road trip down in Texas last week, and then a thriller on Saturday in which Whitman beat Kalamazoo College by a final score of 13-12 in overtime on Saturday here at James Hayner Field. They were down 12-10 with less than 2 minutes left, but Whitman was able to get goals from Seraphin Miller and Emily Odegaard. Odegaard's goal came with less than 20 seconds left to tie the score at 12 and force it into overtime. And then less than a minute into overtime, Sarah Hawkins, the reigning Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year, scored the golden goal for Whitman, which was her 4th of the game, and the Blues won it over Kalamazoo College 13-12 in overtime. Such an exciting game on Saturday. Some stats that went certainly against Whitman and made it a tighter game than perhaps it could have. They were -7 on the draw in that game against Kalamazoo College. That's going to be big today against this very good Chapman team. Also, Kalamazoo College had 8 free position shots. Whitman had just 1 in that matchup on Saturday. 5 different players scored for Whitman, and Sarah Hawkins and Seraphin Miller both had 4 goals apiece in the winning effort. Again, a 13-12 win in overtime on Saturday. The Blues have won 3 in a row. On the flip side, for Chapman, they're looking for their 3rd straight win. They knocked off Whitworth yesterday in Spokane, 19-8 the final score. Scored the first 2 goals of the game and really never looked back, never trailed in the game. They scored 10 goals in the first half, 9 goals in the second half. They put up 35 shots to Whitworth's 16. Chapman had 22 shots on goal, and they were plus 20 on the draw control. So this is a very good Chapman team who played well yesterday. They had 10 different players score in that win yesterday against Whitworth. Both Maddie Escobar and Ada Carr had 4 goals apiece to lead the way for the Chapman Panthers yesterday. They are 5-3 overall on the year. There is a little bit of history between these two teams, Whitman and Chapman. They played last year, the one and only meeting in the history between these two to this point. And Chapman won last year, 17-8 was the score. Whitman lost to the Panthers in Orange County. Chapman in Orange, California. So they played at Chapman last year, and it was a 17-8 win for the Panthers over Whitman. This is the final non-conference game for Whitman this season, taking on Chapman here today. They will be back in action once their spring break wraps up. After this, they will start their Northwest Conference games on the road in Oregon. They'll take on George Fox and Pacific next Friday and Saturday. That's the 4th and the 3rd of April that weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. That starts conference play for the Blues here in the non-con, looking to round it out with a plus 500 record if they could win today. They are 4-4 right now. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. Run through them for the visiting Panthers first. Chapman will start Maddie Escobar, one of their leading goal scorers. She is a junior midfielder. Tade Scheid gets the start. She is a junior midfielder. Brooke Bernstein gets the start, a freshman midfield.
On defense, a junior, number 9, Ariana Covinaribas.
Ariana Kuvarabis gets the start, a junior defender. Liv Kearney gets the nod as well, also on defense. A freshman defender, Liv Kearney. Ada Carr, who had a big game yesterday, a senior attack, she gets the start. Lainey McCombs gets the start, a senior defender. Kelly Todd Hunter gets the start for Chapman, a sophomore defender. May Han is a sophomore attack. She gets the start. Zoe Stevens gets the start as well, a junior attack. Ava Reagan gets the nod as well, a junior attack. Angelina Welsh rounds out the starting lineup, a senior defender. And then between goal, Camila Gabriel gets the start. Camila Gabriel, a freshman goalkeeper from Chula Vista, California. Chapman is led by third-year head coach Delaney Benson, looking to build on this Panthers' success. She led them to a 9-6 record in her first season. They were 6-11 last year. The non-conference is shaped up promising for Chapman thus far. On the flip side, for the Whitman Blues, looking for their third straight win, Tegan Hoff starts in the midfield, a senior. Joy Olsen Uderitz, a sophomore defender. Andrea Garcia starts on defense as well for Whitman. She is a junior. Molly Labhart gets the start, a first-year midfielder. Sarah Hawkins gets the start. A big game on Saturday. 4 goals and an assist against Kalamazoo College, including the game winner in overtime. Emily Odegaard gets the nod. She is a sophomore midfielder. Nell Harvey starts on defense for Whitman. She is a sophomore from Moncton, Vermont. Lola McConaughey, the Blues' leading scorer, gets the starting nod. A sophomore attack from Calgary, Alberta, has 24 goals this year. Ellie Malesi gets the starting nod, a sophomore attack. Lindsay Pacina Little Sky gets the nod as well, a senior midfielder for the Blues. Seraphin Miller gets the start, a first-year midfielder. She has been a standout in her first year, had 4 goals against Kalamazoo on Saturday. And Ren Novak between the posts for Whitman, starting every game this season thus far. Novak, a junior goalie from Mercer Island, Washington. First team all-conference goalie last year.
Whitman's athletic trainer is Anna Doyle.
Whitman and Chapman battling it out here on a Monday morning. Just about set to go. We'll pause for the playing of our national anthem, and then we've got some non-conference lacrosse action coming up next after this. just about ready to roll between Whitman and Chapman. Both teams coming in playing their best lacrosse of the season. The Blues at 4-4 overall. They have won 3 straight coming into today. And for Whitman, it seems like their offense really trending in a positive direction coming into this contest. They have averaged 15 goals per game over their last 3 during this win streak. On the flip side for Chapman, 5-3 overall. The Panthers have won back-to-back games, including a big win on Sunday, yesterday against Whitworth in Spokane. They won 19-8. This is a Chapman team that can score a lot. They average 15 goals per game, which is second best in their conference, the SCIAC. And they are looking to keep it rolling offensively here today as we start in the draw circle. Whitman in their home blue uniforms. Chapman in their road dark uniforms. Maddie Escobar into the draw circle for Chapman. Seraphin Miller, the talented first year for Whitman, will get us going. It is a balmy morning here in Walla Walla, but we are ready for some lacrosse action. 2 teams on hot streaks right now, and we battle it out today. Whitman wins the opening draw. It's Sarah Hawkins on the attack, and that's a good sign for the Blues. They were -7 on the draw on Saturday in their win in overtime over Kalamazoo College. Hawkins weaves through traffic, dumps down low, nearly sneaks it by Gabriel between the posts. It's a stop there for Chapman. And the Panthers will look to clear and turn some defense into offense. Again, this is a Chapman team that averages 15 goals per game, which is second best in their conference. Very balanced scoring effort for the Panthers. Brooke Bernstein works it behind the net. Reagan flips it over to Carr, far side of the field, Escobar. Chapman scored 19 goals against Whitworth yesterday. Had 10 different players score. Ava Reagan forced out by Andy Garcia and out of bounds. It's a turnover, and Whitman will take possession back. Blues won an absolute thriller on Saturday, 13-12 in overtime. The game-winning goal coming from Sarah Hawkins. Whitman was down by 2 goals with less than 2 minutes left. Had to come back to force OT. Far side of the field, it's Hawkins. Had 4 goals and an assist on Saturday. Fires inside to McConaughey, and the Blues on the board first. Lola McConaughey puts Whitman in front thanks to the assist from Sarah Hawkins. Whitman leads 1-0. For Lola McConaughey, that's goal number 1 of the day and goal number 25 of the season. She has now scored in every game for Whitman this year and came into today 5th in the Northwest Conference in goals scored. The sophomore attack from Calgary, Alberta continues her impressive play. And for Sarah Hawkins, 21st assist of the season. She leads the Northwest Conference in assists right now. Such a talented passer. As we go back to the draw, and Whitman wins the draw again. Sarah Hawkins comes away with it. The Blues in their home blue uniforms with a 1-0 lead. A win today would be their 4th in a row. They could knock off Chapman. McConaughey out front. Just scored the goal moments ago for Whitman. And she has it taken away from her. A turnover. Here's Chapman back the other way. Zoe Stevens with the takeaway. Up ahead, Ada Carr. Far side gives it back to Stevens. Chapman, a very balanced team offensively. They don't necessarily have 1 or 2 star players. It's a very solid team effort. This is a team that garners a lot of assists as well, and they put up a lot of goals, 15 of them per game, through their first 8 games. Out front, it's Shade. He's off to Escobar. Weaves inside the fan. Escobar tries to sneak it by Red Novak. It's wide of the net. It'll stay with Chapman. They were closest to it as it goes out behind. Escobar on the far side. To Shine. Out front, Stevens. Escobar, far side, bobs and weaves her way in. Shot blocked away by Novak. Good stop between the posts by Red Novak. Chapman still on the attack, looking for their first goal. A couple minutes in here, first quarter. Escobar flips out front to Zoe Stevens. Makes her move one-on-one. Sees two defenders and resets. Escobar inside. Side wide and shot. Goes wide again. It'll stay with Chapman. Maddie Escobar, the junior midfielder, has been busy early. Has 20 goals for this Chapman team this year. Fourth best in the SCIAC Conference. Inside. A shot and a score for Chapman. They answer back with possession. It's Tage Scheid on the shot and score. And we are even up at 1 goal apiece. For Tage Scheid, that is her 13th of the season. For Tage Scheid. She came in today third in the SCIAC Conference in assists. She's now scored in every game as well. Second team All-SCIAC Conference selection. Tied at 1 as we go back to the draw circle. Whitman and Chapman. Breezy, balmy morning in Walla Walla. Seraphin Miller in there for Whitman in the home blue uniforms. Maddie Escobar for Chapman. And the Blues win the draw. Again, that is a good sign for Whitman. They were -7 on the draw on Saturday, and Chapman's been so good in that area as of late. They force a turnover here. Loose ball in the midfield, far side. And whistle, it will end up being Chapman's ball here. Panthers will try and break out. Welsh fires up ahead, intercepted by Lindsay Pacino. Little Sky for the Blues. Whitman on the attack. They took a 1-0 lead in this game as we've got a timeout called by Whitman and their fourth-year head coach, Chris Duncan, who was the Northwest Conference Coach of the Year last season. So with 10:35 to play first quarter, we are tied at 1. Whitman and Chapman. Blues got their first goal a couple minutes in from Lola McConaughey. Her first of the day, obviously, and 25th of the season. Tage Scheid has the goal for Chapman. Her first of the day, 13th of the season. Head coach Chris Duncan said before this game, the head coach of the Blues said before this one, this might be the toughest opponent that we see the entire year in this Chapman team. Panthers at 5-3 overall. 2-3 already in SCIAC play, so they've already dove right into the heart of their conference schedule. Whitman has yet to play a conference game. Basically, the consensus from that conversation is that the SCIAC conference is really good, and Chapman has been battle-tested here in the early season. For the Panthers, they're looking to round out a 2-0 trip to the Northwest after they knocked off Whitworth yesterday. 19-8 was the final score in Spokane yesterday. Out of the timeout, it's Whitman with the ball in the attacking zone. Tied at 1 about 5 minutes in. Blues have been better offensively as of late. Lindsay Pacino, Little Sky. Finds a cutting Emily Odegaard. Bobbled the pass. Loose ball scooped up by Chapman. Zoe Stevens streaking into the midfield. Panthers second offensively in the SCIAC Conference in goals at 15 per game. Barton on the wing near side. Back out in front to Scheid. Has the sole goal for Chapman thus far. Tage Scheid, her 13th of the season. Escobar out in front. Panthers being patient on the offensive end. Shine. In front to Escobar. Midway through the shot clock here on this possession. Bernstein to Carr, still working behind the net. Chapman in their road dark uniforms, looking for their third win in a row if they could win today. Stevens flips out in front, high pass, corralled and kept in by Ava Reagan. And a whistle and a stoppage. It'll stay with Chapman. Not entirely sure what the call was there. Shine. On the far side, Chapman trying to work it in. Pass deflected, intended for Ava Reagan. It's picked up by Ada Carr. Panthers were so good on Sunday. They had possession basically the entire game against Whitworth, and they've dominated possession here early. Stevens makes her move, and it's a shot clock violation. Didn't get anything off in time, and Whitman will take over possession. Blues looking to break out. Turn defense into offense. This is a team that's been pretty good with the clear this year. Coach Duncan was hoping to get this team's percentage to 85% on the clear this year. Says that basically every team that makes the NCAA tournament has an 85% clear rate or above. Here they are in the attack here. Sarah Hawkins behind the net. 4 goals and an assist on Saturday for Hawkins, including the game winner. McConaughey, far side, forced out. Odegaard out in front, intercepted. Nice play by Zoe Stevens to take it away. Here's Chapman on the break. Anna Barton. The Bernstein. Carr tries a shot in close. It's just wide. And closest to it that time is Chapman. They will stay with possession. On those shots that go behind the net, remember, it's not who touched it last, it's who's closest to it. So that's why the Panthers stay on the ball here. Midway through the first quarter, Whitman scored 90 seconds in. Chapman tied it a couple minutes later. That's all the scoring thus far. Two teams playing well right now. Whitman has won 3 in a row. Chapman has won back-to-back. Barton flips out front. Scheid, who has the goal thus far for Chapman. And a low shot and score from Zoe Stevens to tie the score, or rather to take the lead for the Chapman Panthers. 2-1. Zoe Stevens puts the Panthers in front. Her 18th goal of the season. The junior midfielder from Santa Ana, California, has scored in every game this year for the Chapman Panthers. He's an All-American in high school at Foothill High School. Now in her junior year with the Panthers, scores a goal to put them in front, 2-1. They lead, 7 minutes left, first quarter. Seraphin Miller in the draw circle for Whitman. And Chapman comes up with the draw. Schaefer has possession of it, and she is fouled in the midfield. No card issued. The Panthers will stay with it. No, in fact, they spoke too soon. There will be a card and a penalty. Molly Labhart will have to exit. It is a 1-minute green card. So she will sit for the next minute. Chapman on the woman-up advantage with a goal in their pocket. Panthers this year 5th in the SCIAC Conference in woman-up goals. They've got 11 of them this year. Haven't been as threatening on the woman-up as they could potentially be. Inside, Barton into contact. They move it around the fan. Schaefer inside. Pewitz. Loose ball rolling away, far side of the field. Reagan, not the closest to it. No, in fact, it will stay with Chapman. 15 seconds left on the penalty for Whitman before Molly Labhart can re-enter the game. Here's Reagan behind the net for the Panthers. Out front to Scheid. She's got a goal in this game for Chapman. Tage Scheid makes her move. Fires down low. Knocked away by Novak. Good stop between the posts, and we're back to even strength as Molly Labhart comes out of the box. And Whitman the closest to it, so they will get possession here. So a big stop there to clear the woman down advantage as they turn it right back over. Pewitt coasts in behind the net. And we've got a stoppage. Tegan Huff a little bit shaken up for Whitman. Seems like she's going to be all right. Huff wearing that knee brace on her right knee, tore her ACL in the Northwest Conference tournament last year. Worked really hard to battle back to be healthy and ready for the start of this season. Blues on defense here. Chapman in their road dark uniforms. Pewitt out front. Whitman led 1-0, but the Panthers have scored back-to-back goals to take the lead. Inside, knocked away from Anna Barton. And the Blues with a takeaway. Here's Sarah Hawkins streaking through the midfield. Hawkins down the far sideline. Into traffic. Hawkins has been playing really well as of late the past couple of games. The Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year last season. Odegaard moves it far side to Seraphin Miller. A talented first year for Whitman. Behind the net, Ellie Malesi. Hawkins behind the net. Does have an assist in this game. Assisted the goal to Lola McConaughey, the only one scored for Whitman thus far. Labhart on the near side. Behind to Ellie Malesi. Midway through the shot clock here on this possession for the Blues. Pacino Little Sky. Out front to McConaughey. Reverse sides to Seraphin Miller. Whitman looking for an opening. Hawkins behind a Labhart. 15 to shoot for Whitman. Got to make a move. Hawkins. 8 to shoot. Odegaard. Behind a Malesi. McConaughey fires a shot. She bobbled the pass. And it's a shot clock violation. They moved it well on that possession. Couldn't get a clean look, though. And it's Chapman ball. In the midfield. Physical defense from Nell Harvey. And she earns possession back for Whitman. Blues playing scrappy here early on their home field. Going to pull off a big win if they could beat Chapman today. Lost to them 17-8 in Southern California last year. On the attack in their home blue uniforms. Trailing it 2-1. Hawkins behind the net. Sarah Hawkins into heavy traffic. Flips to Odegaard. Low shot goes just wide. Emily Odegaard had the game-tying goal on Saturday to even things up and send it to overtime against Kalamazoo College for the Blues, won in an OT. Turnover behind the net and a physical takedown there from Sarah Hawkins. Ball will be with Chapman here. Mila Gabriel between the posts today for Chapman, and she turns it over. Here's Seraphin Miller looking to tie the score as she's forced out of the critical scoring area. Whitman on the attack. Hawkins behind the net. Had a big game on Saturday. 4 goals and an assist, and the game winner in OT. Odegaard moves in behind the net, circles into the arc. Odegaard, jumping shot, high save from Camila Gabriel. Nice stop between the posts. Chapman will get the stop here. Under 90 seconds left, first quarter. Things have slowed down offensively for both these squads. It's been physical on the defensive end here in this first quarter. Bernstein moves it behind the net. Chapman in their road dark uniforms looking to build on their lead. Under a minute left, first quarter. Panthers looking for their third straight win and to round out a 2-0 trip to the Northwest after they beat Whitworth yesterday, 19-8. Bernstein out front to Scheid. Tage Scheid fires a shot wide of the posts. We will have, it'll stay with Chapman on possession. 30 seconds left, first quarter. Pewitt makes her move. Finds Anna Barton into heavy traffic, and she is fouled. So with 23 seconds left in quarter number one, Anna Barton will get a free position here from the edge of the 8-meter arc. Looking to build on the Chapman lead. Barton inside. Bounced it by Ren Novak for a goal. Anna Barton builds out the lead for Chapman. Panthers in front 3-1. Barton with her 10th goal of the season. The freshman attack from Massachusetts was a 3-time lacrosse MVP in her high school days. Barton also played ice hockey and field hockey as well growing up. She scores her 10th of the season. 3-1. Chapman in front of Whitman. 20 seconds left first quarter as we go back to the draw. It's a big draw because it will likely decide who starts quarter number 2 on possession. Seraphin Miller in there for Whitman. Looks like Tage Scheid for Chapman. And Scheid wins possession for the Panthers and coasts into the attacking zone. Reagan buying a little time. Chapman will likely just run out this first quarter and take possession into the second. Ada Carr, far side, bobbing and weaving through traffic, and she runs out the clock to triple zeros at the end of the first quarter. Chapman with a goal late in the final minute to build out the lead. They take a 3-1 lead into the second quarter. Stick with us for second quarter action after this here on Flow Sports. Getting ready to start the second quarter here at James Hayner Field in Walla Walla. 3-1 Chapman in front of Whitman. Two teams on hot streaks right now. Whitman has won 3 in a row. Chapman has won back-to-back, looking for their third straight win. 3-1 the score. The Blues got on the board first. Lola McConaughey with a goal, assisted by Sarah Hawkins, and then a 3-0 run for Chapman to end the first quarter. A goal from Tage Scheid, then one from Zoe Stevens, and one from Anna Barton right before the end of the first quarter, within the final minutes, to make it a 3-1 advantage for the Panthers after one. Looking at the stats from this one thus far, Chapman has an advantage in terms of shots. They've taken 10 shots to Whitman's 3. The Panthers have put 3 of them on goal. Whitman has 2 shots on goal thus far. The Blues do have advantage on the draw, which is big, 4-1. They are +3 on the draw control thus far. Chapman has caused 4 turnovers. Whitman has caused 3 of them. It will be Panther ball to start the second quarter. Chapman will start at the edge of the attacking zone. Maddie Escobar will get us going in the road dark uniforms for the Chapman Panthers. At 5-3 on the year, looking for their 3rd win in a row before they head back home and dive into the bulk of their conference schedule. Escobar looking for an outlet out front. Chapman on a 3-0 scoring run after Whitman scored the opening goal. Stevens has a goal in this game thus far. Works it on the far side. Stevens out front for Escobar. Flips it over to Geegan. Into traffic. And a high shot and a score for the Chapman Panthers. They build out the lead. Brooke Bernstein with the goal for Chapman. They're in front, 4-1.
Goal for the Panthers, scored by number 7, Brooke Bernstein.
Brooke Bernstein, the freshman midfielder from St. Louis, Missouri, with her first goal of the day and her
goal disallowed.
And the goal has been disallowed, so wipe that off. It remains 3-1. An illegal stick is the call. It will stay 3-1, and Whitman will have possession. So a big call there to wipe off the goal. See if the Blues can turn that momentum into anything here. In their home blue uniforms, on the attack, Sarah Hawkins starts with it in the midfield. Whitman trailing 3-1. Here at home, this is their last non-conference game of the season before they dive into their Northwest Conference schedule starting next weekend. Coach Duncan said pregame, we play tough games like this to get us ready for conference season so we can compete with the best in the Northwest Conference. Out front, McConaughey, nice shot, but a great save up high by Gabriel for Chapman. Still in the attacking zone, a turnover. Stevens with a takeaway. She has caused a couple of turnovers here in this first half for Chapman. Into the attacking zone with a 3-1 lead. Looking to build on it. Ada Carr into traffic, and she scores. Bobbing and weaving and firing a shot behind Ren Novak. It is now 4-1, Chapman in front. Ada Carr with some fancy moves in the open field. It's her first goal of the day, 20th of the season. The senior attack from Seattle, Washington. 20th goal of the year. She has now scored in 7 consecutive games. Had a great game yesterday against Whitworth, did Ada Carr. 4 goals and an assist. She was a second-team All-SCIAC conference selection last year. Back to the draw circle. Scheid in there for Chapman. Seraphin Miller in there for Whitman. And Scheid comes up with it. The Panthers win the draw again with a 4-1 lead, looking to build on it. Early stages of the second quarter. Chapman now on a 4-0 scoring run after Whitman scored the opening goal of the game. Out front is Stevens. Stevens In front to Escobar. Low shot goes wide. And Whitman will earn possession back here. Under 13 left in the first half. Blues have won 3 straight games coming into today. Their offense has been a lot better, averaging 15 goals per game during this 3-game win streak. But this is, as Coach Duncan put it earlier, perhaps the toughest team this Whitman group might face the entire year. Malesi behind the posts for Whitman. Far side for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. Molly Labharts in front to Odegaard on a cut to Lola McConaughey. Dunked down, shot nearly snuck it by. Down low, but Gabriel with a nice stop between the posts. She's been good today for Chapman. The freshman goalkeeper from Chula Vista, California, has a 1-3 record coming into today. We'll be looking to improve upon that. She has been solid with a couple of nice saves thus far. Chapman now on the attack. Reagan out top to Escobar. Lobs inside, high pass collected by Stevens. Tried to flip one past Novak. Goes wide, stays with Chapman on the attack. It was 3-1 at the end of the first quarter. Panthers have scored 1 here in the second. They're on a 4-0 scoring run. Whitman scored the first goal of the game. Stevens into traffic. Sees a wall of Whitman Blues. Still fights her way in. And a stop for Whitman. Red Novak comes away with it between the posts for the Blues. And they look to break out here. Andy Garcia, one of the captains on this team. An excellent defender for Whitman. Blues are in the clear here. Into the attacking zone. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky, far side. Pacino Little Sky, 7 goals this year. The senior from Hermiston, Oregon, has been a big contributor for Blues lacrosse her entire 4-year career. McConaughey asking for some movement from her teammates. Inside, Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. Shot is knocked away, but a foul called and a free position coming here for Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. With 10 minutes left in the first half, this could be a big play if Whitman's going to get back in this. Free position coming. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky will take. She goes down low. Shot stopped by Gabriel between the posts. She is playing well today in net for Chapman. On the attack now, here are the Panthers in their road dark uniforms. Up high, pass collected by Escobar, but her shot denied between the posts. A good look for Maddie Escobar. It will stay with Chapman on the attack. Midway through the second quarter, Panthers on a 4-0 scoring run. Make it 5-0. Maddie Escobar with a goal. Goes top shelf. And it is a 5-0 scoring run, a 5-1 lead for Chapman here midway through the second quarter. For Maddie Escobar, that is her first of the day and 21st of the season. She came into the day top 4 in the SCIAC Conference in both goals and draw controls. With a nice goal there, the junior from Woodside, California, with her 21st of the season. Chapman on a 5-0 scoring run after surrendering the opening goal to Whitman. Panthers win the draw here in a physical play, a foul to be called on Sarah Finn-Miller for Whitman, and she will exit. This will end up being a 1-minute green card. So Chapman on the woman-up advantage. They are 0 for 1 on these today. Here's Escobar for Chapman into their zone in their road dark uniforms with a 5-1 lead. They've scored 5 unanswered goals. And a foul card away from the ball going again on Whitman. And Lola McConaughey whistled for a foul. So a 1-minute green card on her. So a 2-player advantage right now for Chapman for the next 40 seconds. Stevens out front to Reagan. Inside, Escobar makes her move. Shot wide of Red Novak between the posts. It stays with Chapman. 25 seconds left on the first penalty for Whitman. Playing 2 players down on defense. Escobar finds Carr. Up top to Stevens. Thought about the shot. Recollects. Here's Carr. Inside. Pass bobbled around. Loose. Inside the 8-meter. Still loose. And Tegan Huff comes away with it. Whitman is killed off the first penalty. They've got 10 seconds left on the second one. Ella Harrington. Nell Harvey in the defensive zone for Whitman. Back to even strength. So a good defensive stand there for Whitman. Down 2 players for a minute. Back to even strength. In the midfield, here's Lola McConaughey. Dances her way through traffic. She's got the only goal in this game for Whitman. Blues leading scorer this year. McConaughey has 25 goals this season, and they score. Sarah Hawkins ends the run for Chapman. Whitman gets on the board. They trail it 5-2. Sarah Hawkins with the goal, the sophomore attack from Bend, Oregon, with her 18th goal of the season and her first of the day. The reigning Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year, who had a big game on Saturday. Hawkins with 4 goals and an assist on Saturday against Kalamazoo College, including the game winner. She's got her first of the day here, and it's back to a 3-goal game. Back to the draw circle. 7:33 left, first half. 2 teams on hot streaks right now. Chapman has won 2 in a row. Whitman has won 3 in a row. Panthers win the draw. On the attack for Chapman. Far side of the field, it's Buck behind the net. Near side to Reagan. Out in front, Stevens. Chapman had his 5-0 scoring run going inside into traffic, and a Barton is fouled. So a free position coming here for Chapman. Anna Barton will take it from the far side of the 8-meter arc. Anna Barton bounces one by Ren Novak for a goal. So Chapman answers the bell right back, and they build out a 6-2 lead with the goal. For Anna Barton, that is her second goal of the day,
Scored by number 4, Anna Barton.
and her 11th of the season. Freshman attack from Massachusetts puts Chapman up by 4 once again. Late stages of the first half. Molly Labhart in the circle for Whitman. And it's Maddie Escobar for Chapman here on the draw. Thus far today, Whitman is +1 on draw controls. We get things back in play here. Escobar wins the draw for Chapman. She came into today 3rd in the SCIAC Conference in draw controls. very excellent in that manner of the game as well. The Panthers with a 6-2 lead. They went on a 5-0 scoring run between the 92nd in mark of the first quarter and just a couple minutes ago before Whitman finally got on the board. Shine into traffic. Reset. Schaefer back to Scheid, far side. Panthers average 15 goals a game, second best in their conference. Inside, Schaefer is knocked down and fouled. Kelsey Schaefer will take a free position here. And will look to build out the lead. Here's Schaefer. Goes up high, this time stopped by Novak between the posts. And a poor pass stays with the Chapman Panthers here on the attack. Up 6-2. Under 6 minutes left. Looking to build on the lead. Chapman, if they win today, they would finish off a 2-0 trip up to the Northwest after beating Whitworth in Spokane yesterday, 19-8. Stevens to Schaefer, near side. Flips it far side of the field to Scheid. Into traffic on a cut. A car shot wide on the near side. And it will stay with the Panthers. They have dominated time of possession in this first half. And so often this game is as simple as that. Whoever has possession of it most is often going to win it. Scheid. Good pass into traffic. Here's Carr on the near side. Out front to Stevens. Scheid bobs and weaves through traffic. Nearly finds a goal. Loose ball scooped up by Tegan Huff for Whitman. Whitman streaking into the midfield with Tegan Huff, and a foul called on Chapman. And they will have a woman-up advantage. Whitman will, as Zoe Stevens is issued a 1-minute green card penalty. Whitman has been very good on the woman-up advantage this year. First in the Northwest Conference, they've scored 18 of these goals. Hawkins inside, bobbled the pass, and it's taken away by Chapman. Liv Carney with the takeaway defensively. And a cover call. It'll be Chapman ball. 30 seconds left on the Panther penalty. Whitman still on the woman-up. Under 4 left, first half, a 6-2 game here in Walla Walla. Seen a Little Sky with some aggressive defense. Lainey Combs sneaks away. Down the far side of the field for Buck. 5 seconds left on the penalty as Chapman will end up getting the kill. Now back to even strength. Panthers on the attack. Here's Carr near side. Out front for Schaefer. Scheid. Working one-on-one with Joy Olsen-Uderitz. Whitman in their zone defense. That was a big emphasis for them to get their zone defense locked in at the start of the year. And a shot score down low from Zoe Stevens. Builds out the advantage 7-2. Chapman leads. Seven to 2, the Panthers in front. 2:53 left in this first half for Zoe Stevens. It's her second goal of the day, 19th of the season for her. She has scored in every game for the Panthers this year. Junior midfielder from Santa Ana, California. Under 3 left, first half, a 7-2 advantage for the Panthers, looking for their third straight win. Back to the draw circle. And we're back in play. Chapman wins the draw. Tage Scheid comes away with it. Loose ball. Pewitt chasing after it. Still loose. Picked up by Whitman. Lola McConaughey comes away with it. Nice spin move into midfield. Up ahead, Joy Olsen-Uderitz. Fast in the midfield. Whitman slows it down. Can they find some positive momentum before halftime? Under 2:30 left, first half, trailing at 7-2. Hawkins behind the net. Sarah does have a goal in this game. Malesi works it behind the post, far side. Hawkins behind the net. Inside to a cutter, high pass intended for Malesi. And the loose ball, still a fight for it, back near the midfield now. And Chapman comes away with it. Liv Carney scoops up the ground ball. Here are the Panthers looking to break out under 2 left in the first half. 7-2, Chapman leads. Carr. Out front to Pewitt. Panthers working around from near side to far side. Keegan. Far side into traffic. Pewitt, a nice cut and a high shot and a goal. Presley Pewitt scores to build out the advantage for the Chapman Panthers. They lead at 8-2 with 1:20 left first half. Panthers on an 8-1 scoring run, and they lead at 8-2.
Goal for the Panthers.
Presley Pewitt with her first of the day. A freshman midfielder from Marin County, California, has her 7th goal of the season. Chapman on an 8-1 scoring run. There's 1:20 left first half. Back to the draw here. It's Scheid in there for Chapman. Seraphin Miller in there for Whitman. Whitman in their home blue uniforms. And Chapman controls the draw. Scheid comes away with it. She's been very good in the draw circle today. Here are the Panthers on the attack. Reagan on the near side. To Carr, who will settle in behind the net. A minute left in the first half. Pewitt, who just scored the goal moments ago, her 7th of the season. Near side to Escobar, one of the leaders of this Chapman team. Maddie Escobar directing traffic. Far side to Geegan. Barton. Behind the net, midway through the shot clock here. Pewitt. 20 seconds left first half. Chapman's got to make their move. Pewitt into traffic, knocked away. Nell Harvey with some aggressive defense for Whitman. Chapman stays on it. 10 seconds left. Escobar into traffic, flips a shot in there, and it is denied. Scooped up by Tegan Huff. Jarred loose once again, and time runs out here in the first half. Well, Chapman with a big-time run in that first half, an 8-1 scoring run, and they lead 8-2 here at halftime. Panthers looking to win their 3rd game in a row if they can close it out. Whitman's got a lot of work to do if they're going to come back in this game here at home. Stick with us. We'll take a break for a couple minutes, and we'll come back and recap that first half and run through the first half stats as well from James Tanner Field in Walla Walla. Chapman leads Whitman 8-2 here in non-conference women's lacrosse action. Back after this on Flow Sports. We're here at the half between Whitman and Chapman, and the Chapman Panthers have an 8-2 lead over the Whitman Blues here at James Hayner Field on the campus of Whitman College in Walla Walla. Austin Samuels with you here along with the rest of our Flow Sports crew. Thanks for joining us here on your Monday morning, or now stretching into the afternoon. Whitman got off to a solid start in this game. They led it 1-0 after Lola McConaughey scored 90 seconds in, and then really after that it was just a avalanche in favor of the Chapman Panthers. They went on an 8-1 scoring run the rest of the half, and they laid it 8-2 here at the break. The scoring in the first quarter, Chapman 3 goals in the first, 1 for Whitman in the first quarter, and then Chapman with 5 goals in the second quarter, Whitman with just 1 in quarter number 2. Looking at the stats overall from the first half, Chapman had 22 shots total to 7 for Whitman in that first half. The Panthers put 10 shots on goal. Whitman had 5. Chapman did have an advantage on the draw control, 7-5. They were +2 in that regard. Both teams have 10 turnovers after the first half of play. The goal scorers for both teams, first for Chapman, Anna Barton and Zoe Stevens both have 2 goals for Chapman. Maddie Escobar, Tage Scheid, Ada Carr, Presley Pewitt, all with a single goal for the Chapman Panthers, who lead it 8-2. On the flip side for Whitman, just 2 players have scored in this contest. Lola McConaughey with a goal and Sarah Hawkins with 1 as well. The 2 goals for Whitman to this point. Chapman in command, up 8-2. The Panthers at 5-3 overall on the campaign. They have won back-to-back games. Looking to make it their 3rd straight win here today. It'll be their 2nd win streak of the year of 3 or more games, and they're also looking for a 2-0 road trip here to the Northwest after they knocked off Whitworth yesterday 19-8. This is a Chapman team that was picked to finish 5th in their very, very tough SCIAC conference in the preseason coaches poll, but they have exceeded expectations thus far. It's a very powerful offense for Chapman. They've scored 15 or more goals in all 5 of their wins this year. They are 2-3 in conference play. They've already played 5 conference games, and they will get right back into it with their next game coming up at home against the University of the Redlands. That is Saturday, April 4th, and then they'll take on Pomona Pitzer on the road the Saturday afterwards on April 11th. On the flip side for Whitman, the Blues at 4-4 overall in the year. They've won 3 games in a row coming into today. This is their final non-conference game of the season. They will get into Northwest Conference play next weekend as well. The Northwest Conference opener is against perhaps the toughest foe in the Northwest Conference in the George Fox Bruins. That is next Friday on the road in Oregon, April 3rd for that one, and then at Pacific next Saturday, April 4th. The next home game for Whitman is not until April 11th. They will take on Linfield in their home conference opener here at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. We get ready to start the second half. Again, thank you so much for being with us on your Monday afternoon. And we do have a change between the posts for Whitman. So Ren Novak out of the game for Whitman, and Kenzie Kane, the first-year goalie from Oakland, California, will see some action here. She has not started a game this year. She's got a 51% save percentage, averaging 12 goals allowed per game. So Kenzie Kane now between the posts for Whitman. As we go back to the draw circle to start this contest here in the second half. 8-2, Chapman with the lead. Seraphin Miller in the draw circle for Whitman. And Maddie Escobar in there for Chapman. And Whitman wins the draw. Sarah Hawkins comes away with it. Had a goal in that first half. Hawkins is playing really well as the focal point of the Whitman offense as of late during this 3-game win streak. Had the game winner and 4 goals on Saturday against Kalamazoo College. Miller finds Malesi and tight shot wide of Gabriel. That was a good look for Ellie Malesi inside. Whitman will stay on it here in the attacking zone. Malesi behind the net near side. Looking for a cutter, finds one. Hawkins shot down low and a score. Between the legs of Gabriel in net for Chapman. It is a goal for Sarah Hawkins. Whitman trails 8-3. For Sarah Hawkins, that is her second goal of the day, 19th of the season. Less than a minute into this third quarter, Whitman strikes first. Sarah Hawkins, sophomore from Bend, Oregon.
Scored by number 10, Sarah Hawkins.
Back to the draw circle we go. See if Whitman can win some more draws, be on possession more, and make this thing interesting in the second half. It's a 5-goal game right now. Miller in the draw circle for the Blues. And Maddie Escobar in there for Chapman. And Whitman wins the draw again. This time it's Tegan Hopp who comes away with it. Here's Whitman on the attack. Their home blue uniforms. Miller, far side. Streaking around the net. Inside to Malesi. Looking for the angle, tries to bounce one by, and it's wide, near side. And Chapman will be on it after the missed shot. Couple of good looks from Ellie Malesi here early in this third quarter. Chapman went on an 8-1 scoring run after Whitman scored the first goal of the game all the way through the end of the first half. Whitman has the early goal here in the third. Chapman in the attacking zone. Stevens out front. Had 2 goals in that first half. And high pass. It'll be Whitman ball. Behind the net, Andy Garcia looking to start the break. New goalie between the posts for Whitman. Kinsey Kane seeing some action for the Blues. The first-year goalie from Oakland, California. And a whistle. It will stay with Whitman after a penalty coming here on Chapman. A 1-minute releasable green card on Georgia Geegan for the Panthers. So a woman-up advantage here for Whitman. Got 1 minute to try and do something with it. Blues very good on the woman up this year as they turn it over immediately. Carr in the attacking zone for the Panthers, looking to just buy some time here. Buck throws it near side. Back to Buck on the wing. Out front to Stevens. Wide pass, heads out of bounds, intended for Ava Reagan. And it'll be Whitman ball. 20 seconds left on the penalty. Whitman on the woman-up advantage. And a high pass intended for Sarah Hawkins. Ends up in a turnover. Loose ball on the near side. Whitman comes up with it. Here's Ellie Malesi. Back to even strength. Whitman on the attack. Blues have the only goal in this third quarter thus far. Going to keep it going and put together a strong second half. Miller, talented first-year scorer for Whitman out front. Works around, has it knocked away from behind by Stevens. Loose ball picked up by Welsh for Chapman. Lobs up ahead, the Panthers looking to clear, and they do. Here's Haley Buck near side, forced off the ball by Nell Harvey, but Buck gets it back for Chapman. Panthers in this game have had more possession, more shots, and a big lead over Whitman as there's a timeout called on the field. 10:55 left third quarter, 8-3. Chapman has the advantage over Whitman. Blues at 4-4 on the year, looking for their fourth straight win after they started the year 1-4. Chapman looking for their third win in a row. They are 5-3 on the campaign. Both teams will talk things over as we continue to roll on here in the third quarter. It is a balmy, windy afternoon here in Walla Walla today. Still sunny and pretty nice outside, but everybody here are dressed in sweatshirts and jackets. Still not quite that time of year where it's shorts and t-shirt weather yet. Chapman with possession out of the timeout. Panthers have not scored here in the third quarter thus far. Went on an 8-1 scoring run to end the first half. Geegan will start with it for the Panthers in their road dark uniforms, looking for their third win in a row. Their offense has been a machine as of late. Stevens out top, back near the edge of the midfield. Stevens makes her move. Lobs inside, Carr collects, no room to shoot though. Back out front to Zoe Stevens, midway through the shot clock for Chapman. Stevens taking her time patiently out front, being guarded by Nell Harvey, sophomore from Moncton, Vermont. Stevens forced out by Nell Harvey. Aggressive D on this possession. Bernstein back out front to Stevens, bobbled the pass, loose ball picked up by Joy Olsen-Uderitz. Nice defense there from Whitman on that possession. And a high pass is likely going to end up in a turnover, a long run into the corner. It ends up being a shot clock violation. The buzzer goes off, but possession was still loose, so we'll see what they rule here. It will end up being Whitman ball in the attacking zone. So the Blues on it, trailing 8-3. Alessi behind net for Whitman. Finds Sarah Hawkins. She's got 2 of the 3 goals for Whitman today. Odegaard has it knocked away from her in tights, and a stop picked up by Gabriel between the posts. She's been very good in net today for Chapman. Going to improve on her record and help her team to yet another win. On the near side, Ada Carr up ahead into the midfield, and an errant pass ends up loose, and Whitman comes away with it. Molly Labhart takes possession. Andy Garcia through the midfield. Knocked away from her, take it away. Georgia Geegan here for Chapman into the attacking zone. Panthers offense has been stifled here in the third. They have not scored. It was 8-2 at halftime. This is the second highest scoring offense in the SCIAC Conference, 15 goals per game. Near side Buck makes her defender miss. Keegan working one-on-one with McConaughey. And aggressive defense from Lola McConaughey. Ends up in a foul. It'll be a free position at the edge of the fan. And it is a card to be issued on Lola McConaughey. The aggressive defense there, that is a 1-minute green card releasable penalty. So Chapman on the woman up here for the next minute. Stevens out front. This Panthers team has not been excellent on the woman-up advantage this year. 5th in their conference in that category with 11 woman-up goals this year thus far. Loose ball picked up by Chapman. Bernstein trying to work it behind near side. 35 seconds left on the penalty for McConaughey for Whitman. Stevens fires far side to Carr. Inside pass taken away. It's Kinsey Kane who collects for Whitman. The Blues get the clear. Through the midfield, Grace Galanes has it taken away from her. It'll be Chapman ball. 10 seconds left on the Whitman penalty until we're back to even strength. And Whitman will take over possession here on the near side. Ellie Malesi through the midfield. Back to even strength. The penalty killed for the Blues. Odegaard into traffic, and a timeout called by Whitman. So the Blues will talk things over with 6:50 left in the third. Chapman leads over Whitman 8-3. Blues led this thing 1-0, 90 seconds in. Lola McConaughey had a goal to make it 1-0. Then Chapman went on an 8-1 scoring run, including a 5-0 run to stretch the first half lead all the way out to 8-2 going into the break. And Whitman has the only goal here in the third thus far. The second one of the day for Sarah Hawkins for Whitman, the reigning Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year after her first year. 8-3. The score, 6:50 left in the third. Both teams will dive into their conference schedules after this. The Blues will play on the road. Their Northwest Conference opener will come up next weekend. They'll take on George Fox, the Bruins, the reigning conference champions and undisputedly the best team in this conference for years now. They'll take on Fox on Friday, April 3rd, and then they'll be at Pacific as well Saturday, April 4th. Those are the first Northwest Conference games of the year for Whitman. On the flip side, for Chapman, they're already 2-3 in their conference play. They'll get back into league play next Saturday as well on April 4th. They'll take on the University of the Redlands at home. Out of the timeout, Whitman with possession. Trailing at 8-3 here at home. Sarah Hawkins starts out with it for Whitman. Far side to Miller. Works it behind the net to Odegaard. Whitman sending cutters through. Looking for a good look. Malesi. Wide pass intended for Seraphin Miller. She heads back nearly to the midfield to chase it down. Inside, Odegaard. Shot denied. In between the posts by Gabriel. She's played well in net today for Chapman. A stop for the Panthers. Looking for the clear. Pewitt into the midfield. Escobar. Into the attack. Reagan, far side. Chapman has not scored in this second half. Whitman has done a much better job defensively. They've also made a change between the posts. Kinsey Kane now the goalkeeper for the Blues. Far side Pewitt does have a goal in this game. Pewitt being guarded by Joyles and Uderitz. Very feisty defender for this Whitman group. Walked out on the team last year. Ended up being an all-conference performer. Near side, Barton flips it into traffic. Shot, collects and scores. Down low. Sneaks it by Kinsey Kane between the posts. And Chapman breaks the scoreless spell. They build out the lead 9-3 there in front.
Goal for the Panthers. Scored by number 6, Tade Shine.
For Tade Shine. She tacks on another goal. That is her second of the day and her 14th of the season. The junior midfielder from Walnut Creek, California. Came in today one of the leaders in the SCIAC Conference in assists. Throwing up her second goal today. Whitman wins the draw. Tegan Huff comes away with it. A 6-goal lead for Chapman. Blues on the attack in their home blue uniforms. Malesi finds Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. Battling in on the arc. Out front to Tegan Huff. Sarah Hawkins, who has 2 goals today. Flips it near side to Lindsay Pacino Little Sky. Odegaard. Far side of the field. Midway through the shot clock. Whitman, their last 3 games have been much better offensively. 15 goals per game during that stretch, but it's been tough sledding today. Hawkins shot down low, stopped. Between the posts, a great save down low. Between posts for Chapman. Gabriel with another nice save. She's been excellent. Between the posts. We've got a foul called on Chapman and a legal screen. Legal pick called, I believe, on the Panthers. And this will end up being a penalty on them. A 1-minute green card releasable. So Whitman will have a woman-up advantage here under 4 left, third quarter. The Blues have been very good in this situation this year. First in the Northwest Conference in woman-up goals. Hawkins playing the facilitator role, lobs out in front, intended for Malesi. Knocked away. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky comes away with it. In front to McConaughey. Thought about the shot, instead resets. 30 seconds left on the penalty. Inside, Malesi into traffic. She is fouled. Contact there in front with the goalkeeper, Gabriel. And Ellie Malesi will have a chance to put Whitman on the board. Here's a free position. Malesi from the 8-meter. Passes off, finds McConaughey, shot wide. Near side of the posts. And Whitman stays on the ball. Penalty killed off for Chapman. We're back to even strength. Malesi. Near side. Out in front to Lola McConaughey. The Blues' leading scorer has 1 today. McConaughey has it jarred free. Nice defensive play, and Chapman with a takeaway. Covarrubias with a takeaway for the Panthers. They streak here on the near side. Chapman looking for their third win in a row and to head back to Orange County. A 2-0 trip here up to the Northwest after they beat Whitworth yesterday 19-8. Pewitt works it around to the far side. Scheid has got a couple goals in this game for Chapman. Out front, Pewitt. Under 2 left in this third quarter. Escobar orbits the fan. Flips behind to Barton. Whitman's played better defense here in this third quarter, executing this zone defense look a lot better. And a shot save there from Kenzie Kane between the posts, but a high outlet pass. And it will stay with Chapman. Carr on the far side for the Panthers in their dark road uniforms. Minute left, third quarter. Pewitt here on the near side. They work it behind a Bernstein. Scoring tied at 1 apiece here in the third. It was 8-2 at halftime. Carr finds Reagan. They reset. Chapman in no hurry here. Almost as if they're just playing to kill out the rest of this third quarter. 30 seconds left. Pewitt on the near side. Aggressive defense coming from Nell Harvey. Pewitt with 10 seconds. And Chapman will just try to run out the time here in the third quarter. Escobar manages to run out the clock to triple zeros here as we end the third. Well, it's a low-scoring, defensive-minded third quarter. Both teams with 1 goal apiece. Chapman still with a big lead, 9-3. They're in front as we start the fourth quarter after this. Stick with us here on Flow Sports. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter here at James Hayner Field in Walla Walla. Chapman Panthers still in command, up 9-3 over Whitman, but a much more even third quarter. Both teams scored just 1 goal apiece in that third. It was 8-2 at halftime in favor of Chapman. Whitman and Chapman battling it out 1 apiece in the third. Chapman still has an advantage in a lot of these statistical categories. 24 shots to Whitman's 13. The Panthers have put 12 shots on goal to Whitman's 9. Whitman does have a small advantage on the draw control today, 8-7. They are +1 there. It'll be Chapman ball to start the fourth quarter. Both teams on win streaks coming into today. Whitman has won 3 straight after starting the year 1-4. Chapman has won back-to-back, looking to make it 3 straight. Escobar weaves all the way in tight and scores. No, they wave it off. Crease violation is the call, so no goal. That was impressive by Maddie Escobar to go in all the way by herself and score that goal, but it's waved off. Two penalties offsetting. It'll end up being Whitman ball. They'll stay on possession here. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky has it. Far side of the field for Whitman. Blues at bare minimum just looking for some positive momentum here in the second half of this game. With a big deficit, they'll start conference play next weekend. The third and the fourth on the road in Oregon with George Fox and Pacific. They would love to be playing some of their best lacrosse coming into next weekend. Seraphin Miller gives off to Sarah Hawkins behind the net near side. Hawkins has 2 of the 3 goals today for Whitman. Malesi. Far side. Ellie Malesi weaving through, fires behind to Hawkins. Sarah Hawkins looking for a cutter. She finds one. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky missed the shot. Still loose. Inside the arc, picked up by Chapman. Here's Maddie Escobar. Into the midfield for Schaefer. Excellent execution of passing in the transition game for Chapman. Panthers on the attack. Going to find some more offense here in this second half. Just 1 goal since halftime. Schaefer to the far side for Stevens. Loose ball charred free. Joy Olsen-Uderitz with a nice takeaway for Whitman. It was the first team All-Northwest Conference selection last year. Caused a turnover there. Inside pass intended for Ellie Malesi. She scoops it up behind the net. And a timeout grabbed by Whitman. So the Blues, while they have possession, they will talk things over. Timeout grabbed by 4th-year head coach Chris Duncan with 13:04 left. 9-3. Chapman has the advantage over the Whitman Blues. Just 2 total goals here in this second half. 1 apiece. Both came in the third quarter after we were at an 8-2 score at halftime in favor of Chapman. So the Blues will talk things over. Chris Duncan, the head coach of the Blues, was named the Northwest Conference Coach of the Year last season. Led Whitman to a program-defining year in which they went 13-5. Made their first ever appearance in the Northwest Conference title game. Lost 12-9 to George Fox. Duncan went to school here at Whitman as well. Played club lacrosse for the Whitman men's team. Not a varsity-sponsored sport, but they do have club lacrosse. Out of the timeout here, Blues with the ball. 13 minutes left, a 9-3 score. Sarah Hawkins will start with it near side of your screen behind the net for Whitman. Alessi. Flips it over to Pacino Little Sky. Out front, Odegaard. Battling through traffic, sees two defenders. Behind the net to Ellie Malesi. Labhart. Whitman looking for an opportunity here. Had a wide pass. Lindsay Pacino Little Sky missed her intended target there. It'll be Chapman ball. Panthers have played well defensively in this game. Whitman has been held to just 14 shots and only 3 goals. An excellent play between the posts by the freshman Camilla Gabriel. Whitman with possession. Their home blue uniforms. Seraphin Miller into traffic. Looking to shoot, and she has it jarred free, but she's fouled in the process. So Seraphin Miller will get a free position shot here from the 8-meter with under 12 left. Whitman looking to cut the deficit. Seraphin Miller bounces a shot in. It's just wide. Gabriel again with great defense between the posts. And it will stay with Whitman. Whitman will stay on the ball. So a missed opportunity there on the free position shot, but still with possession here. Sarah Hawkins has it jarred free. Fight for it. And it stays with Whitman again, out of bounds on the end line. Out front, Labhart. First year for the Blues. Couple of really talented first years as a part of this attacking group. Labhart and Seraphin Miller have been a big part of the offense for Whitman in the early season. We've seen a Little Sky. Out front, pass intercepted, taken away by Liv Carney for Chapman. And they slow things down. Gabriel buying some time between the posts. Excellent play from Camila Gabriel in this game for Chapman. The goalkeeper for the Panthers has made some excellent saves to prevent some would-be goals for Whitman. On the attack, Chapman with 10 minutes left in this game. A 9-3 lead, just 2 goals in this second half. 1 apiece in the third quarter. That's it. It was 8-2 at halftime. Stevens fires wide to Barton. Back to Stevens out front. Maddie Escobar weaves in far side. Sees a wall of Whitman Blue defenders. Stevens makes her move inside. Stevens fires low, shot and scores. Excellent move on the drive and finish from Zoe Stevens. It's now 10-3. Chapman builds out the lead. And for Zoe Stevens, that is her 3rd goal of the day and 20th of the season for the Chapman Panthers. The junior attack from Santa Ana, California, has scored in every game this year for the Chapman Panthers. Was an All-American her senior year of high school. 3rd goal of the day for Zoe Stevens. Chapman in front, 10-3. Back to the draw circle. And Georgia Geegan wins the draw for Chapman. The Panthers on possession again. Their road dark uniforms. Far side, it's Brooke Bernstein. Schaefer out front. They work it over to the near side with Reagan. Carr in control. Chapman looking to win their third game in a row and move to 6-3 on the year before getting into the bulk of their tough SCIAC conference schedule. Inside, Schaefer, high shot, top shelf, and a goal. Excellent shot. She snuck it by Kinsey Kane between the posts for Whitman. Kelsey Schaefer with a goal, her first of the day and 7th of the season. Chapman leads 11-3. Kelsey Schaefer has now scored in 6 straight games for Chapman. She was not only a team captain on her high school lacrosse team, but also on her high school basketball team as well. Northgate High School for Chapman, or for Kelsey Schaefer, I should say, from Walnut Creek, California. 11-3, Chapman in front. So it was a lower scoring third quarter. Both teams scored 1 goal apiece after it was 8-2 at halftime. Chapman has 2 goals here in the fourth. On the draw, Georgia Geegan comes away with it for Chapman. And a loose ball picked up by the Panthers. And possession will be awarded to Whitman here. Blues get it back. Troy Olsen-Uderit scoops up the ground ball. So fast through the midfield. Seraphin Miller up ahead, near side. Talented first year for Whitman. Had 4 goals the last time out against Kalamazoo College. Has not scored today, though. For Whitman, the 3 goals thus far. 1 from Lola McConaughey, 2 from Sarah Hawkins, and that's it for the Blues. Seraphin Miller in tight, and she draws contact and a foul. Seraphin Miller will get a free position shot here from the 8-meter. Here's Miller for Whitman. Goes down low and bounces it by for a goal. Seraphin Miller puts Whitman on the board for the second time here in this second half. It's 11-4. The Blues trail. Seraphin Miller with her first goal of the day, 18th of the season for the Blues. The first-year midfielder from Linwood, Washington, graduate of Archbishop Murphy High School, where she was a 2-time All-State selection there. Again, mentioned moments ago, she had 4 goals on Saturday against Kalamazoo College. First goal of the day for Seraphin Miller, 18th of the season. Trailing 11-4. A lot more competitive here in this second half. It was 8-2 at halftime. Here we go on the draw. And it's picked up by Georgia Keegan, who's continued to win draws for this Chapman team. Came into today with 22 draw controls on the season. Has a handful of them today. Carr on the near side wing. They work it around the fan to the far side. 7 minutes left. Chapman looking like they're going to close out this road trip to the Northwest with a 2-0 stretch here after beating Whitworth yesterday. These two played last year in Southern California, and Chapman won 17-8 last season. Inside to Pewitt, knocked away on the shot, and Kinsey Kane snatches it and comes away with it. Whitman on possession, looking to turn offense or defense into offense here. Leah Dingman being hounded by multiple defenders, and she is fouled. And that ends up being a green card on Chapman. And Haley Buck will sit down for a minute. So it's a 1 minute releasable penalty. So Whitman on the warming up advantage. Trailing it 11-4. They've got the advantage for the next minute. And a whistle here on the near side. One could kind of go either way. Andy Garcia and Ada Carr, and it is Ada Carr who gets whistled for a penalty. So she's got a green card as well. Whitman has a 2-player advantage right now for the next 49 seconds. Andy Garcia gets us going. Up ahead for Seraphin Miller. Near side, Whitman has a 2-player advantage thanks to Chapman penalties. McConaughey out front to Labharts. Hawkins looking into traffic, flips for McConaughey, fires a shot. It comes up empty, knocked away, still loose ball inside the arc. And it's picked up between the posts, between Camilla Gabriel. But a loose ball again, and Whitman's got it back. Here's Odegaard. Fires behind net to Grace Galanes. And a timeout called by Whitman. 5:25 left, 11-4. Chapman in front of the Whitman Blues. There is still time left on both penalties. 6 seconds left on the penalty of Haley Buck and 17 seconds left on the penalty of Ada Carr. So still a 2-player advantage for Whitman out of this timeout, but it's going to be quick before we are back to even strength. Blues just looking for some positive momentum here down the stretch. Likely not enough time to come all the way back, but you never know. Crazier things have happened. Would love to take some positives away from this game and this non-conference stretch before you get going with conference play next weekend. On the 3rd and the 4th in Oregon against George Fox in Pacific. So Whitman will start with possession here in the attacking zone. Again, 6 seconds left on the first penalty for Chapman, 17 left on the second penalty. So they've got a 2-player advantage, but very quickly. Rather, Chapman is going to start with possession here. Not entirely sure why, but the Panthers will be on ball here. Defensively, and physical defense from Grace Galanes forced a turnover of Angelina Welsh, excuse me. Stays with Chapman. Up ahead, Ada Carr into the attacking zone. Back to even strength now, and Carr inside, she scores for Chapman. Builds out the Panthers' lead. They're in front, 12-4 here on the road. Ada Carr turning defense into offense very quickly. And for Ada Carr, that is her second goal of the day, 21st of the season for her, the senior attack from Seattle. Playing back in her home state. A 12-4 lead for the Chapman Panthers, 4:53 left here at Hayner Field in Walla Walla. And back to the draw we go. Picked up by Chapman. Presley Pewitt wins possession for the Panthers. They've been good on the draw control today, having the advantage over the Blues. They were dominant on the draw yesterday in their 19-8 win over Whitworth. Not as lopsided in that regard today. Pewitt takes a handoff, gives it to Scheid. Sees multiple Blues defenders. Tegan Huff and Lola McConaughey there. Into traffic, Buck has it poked away from her, and a foul called. This will end up being a free position shot. Chapman's Haley Buck will take it. Buck goes down low and bounces it by Kinsey Kane for a goal. Chapman builds out the advantage, 13-4. They're in front here on the road.
Goal for the Panthers.
The Panthers in command. Haley Buck with the goal, her first of the day, fourth of the season. Freshman attack from Houston, Texas. Made her way out to Southern California to play her collegiate lacrosse. Go back to the draw circle here with under 4 left. It is a 9-goal margin. Emily Odegaard in there for Whitman to take the draw this time. Georgia Geegan for Chapman. And Geegan quickly wins the draw. She has a handful of draw controls in this game. Chapman working it through the midfield, and they do into the attacking zone. Pewitt. Behind that to Barton. Panthers in no rush offensively with a big 13-4 lead. Schaefer out front. Far side to Scheid. Chapman looking like they're going to win their third game in a row here today and move to 6-3 on the year. Scheid into heavy traffic. Jostled and knocked away from her. Loose ball collected by Joy Olsen-Uderitz. And a push called on Whitman. It'll end up being Chapman ball at free position coming from the edge of the fan. So Scheid will have to pass off of this. And she does to Pewitt. Chapman resets the attack. Under 2:30 left. Inside to Scheid. Knocked away on the save by Kinsey Kane. Andy Garcia making her move into the midfield for Whitman.
Great play, Andy.
Loose ball scooped up ahead, but picked up by Chapman. Tage Scheid slows it down. Under 2 minutes left. Carr on the near side. Gives off to Reagan, out in front to Pewitt. Chapman had an 8-2 lead at halftime. And they've built it out 13-4 here late stages. Scheid on the far side to Buck, who just scored a goal a couple minutes ago. Ball still loose. And the Chapman Panthers have won another ground ball. Scheid, low shot, knocked away by Kinsey Kane. Good save between the posts for Whitman. Presley Pewitt bobbing through traffic. Little over a minute left. Pewitt gives to Ava Reagan. Her shot goes wide. It'll stay with Chapman. Under a minute remaining. Panthers win their third in a row with this win and get to 6-3 on the year as Reagan goes down low with the shot. And another save from Kinsey Kane. Whitman here into the midfield. Picked up by Ellie Malesi. Up ahead pass intercepted with 30 seconds left. Leah Dingman gets it back for the Blues, and they turn it over again. Pewitt up ahead for Chapman. In their road dark uniforms, Panthers going to close out their third straight win in a 2-0 trip here to the Northwest. Under 10 ticks left. Inside, Reagan jostling for it. And the clock hits triple zeros in the fourth.
Final score of today's game.
Chapman with a dominant first half, pretty even in the second half, but it was certainly enough for the Chapman Panthers to get it done. Chapman wins over Whitman 13-4 is the final score. The Chapman Panthers, as I mentioned moments ago, have now won 3 in a row. They close out in a 2-0 trip here to the Northwest, and they are now 6-3 on the season. For Whitman, that ends their 3-game win streak. They drop to 4-5 with the loss to Blues, a game below 500. Both these teams will be back in action next weekend. The Blues will open up their Northwest Conference play on the road in Oregon. They'll take on George Fox on the road. A nice long layoff before they get back into play Friday, April 3rd, and then on the road the next day as well at Pacific Saturday, April 4th. The next home game for Whitman will not be for a couple weeks until April 11th. That is a Saturday against Linfield. It'll be a 1 o'clock game here at Hainer Field in Walla Walla. On the flip side for Chapman, they'll head back home to Orange County in California, and they'll be back at home next weekend as well. They'll take on the University of Redland. That is Saturday, April 4th, and then they'll play Pomona Pitzer on the road the week after that. 13-4, the final score. The Chapman Panthers get it done over Whitman here in this one. The Panthers have now won 3 in a row. Thank you so much for joining us here on your Monday afternoon. Big shout out to all of our Flow Sports crew here for helping this make this an awesome production. One final time, Chapman wins it 13-4 here over Whitman. Austin Samuels saying so long from James Hainer Field here in Walla Walla. Have a great rest of your day.